Alrighty. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. We are in the studio today with, of course, Stephen Chad Holly, my man. Welcome back to the show. And we have a special guest in store with us today. We have Shane Matthews, the Gator legend from the 90s. Shane Matthews, how we doing, sir?
I'm doing well, guys. How are y'all?
Fantastic, man. We appreciate you stopping by.
Doing well.
I know this is a two-a-days for you because you have your show in the morning and you're doing our show at night, so we appreciate you stopping by, man.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, during I tell you what, it's getting crazy now with football season. I do a million shows, it seems like. Yeah,
you got it jam-packed. You get a lot of great guests on there, and you guys are always going back and forth and getting their thoughts and opinions on it. So, speaking of, I saw you commented on Malik Bryant, obviously going to Miami. I spoke to him an hour before this. I wanted to get your thoughts on the Malik Bryant situation. Were you hoping he would become a Gator? And then we'll kind of dive into the recruiting process as a whole so far for the Gators.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't follow recruiting. I have some guys that kind of run my Pod Up Twitter page. So
okay.
They follow all the recruiting. I do my own Twitter page, but yeah, Miami is obviously doing real well in recruiting. Obviously, I think they're throwing a lot of money around. I don't believe a lot of the money that's being offered to these kids, and plus they don't get that money or supposedly get that money until they enroll on campus. And who knows if Miami starts 1-3 on the year, and I haven't looked at their schedule. I mean, kids decommit all the time, so I wouldn't read a whole lot into it, but I think the Florida Gators are doing very well when it comes to recruiting.
Okay, fantastic. And you kind of hinted on the recruiting process and the NIL situation. Can you break that down a little bit? Your thoughts on it? You said you're not a huge fan of it. Are you don't like it at all, or just kind of how it's being handled thus far? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm like every other college coach. I have a lot of friends in the business that cannot stand it, but publicly they can't say that, obviously. But
okay,
name, image, and likeness. Well, I'm all for name, image, and likeness. Kids making money on their jersey sales, doing commercials, autograph signings, things of that nature, which is based on your name, image, and likeness. Well, what's going on in the world today is it's pay for play. We're going to buy these players to come play for us. And that's not what it was intended for. I think it's totally ridiculous for any kid that is still in high school to be paid anything before they play a college football game. Think about all the players that, if you follow college football, that were highly recruited or never panned out. These billionaires, these guys paying this money to these kids, they're rich and wealthy because they were smart business people. Well, if you don't get a return on your investment, it'll all work itself out. So I just think it's ridiculous what's going on in college athletics right now. Now, if a kid is the Bryce Youngs of the world, the Will Andersons, kids like that have performed at a high level, yes, they should get some deals. But for these kids in high school, are you kidding me? It's totally ridiculous.
Absolutely. Look, I think like what you're saying, this is where we talked with Jen from the Collective. We went to the event where we talked with Anthony Richardson, where they were signing autographs and they were chit-chatting. That's what it's meant to be. And like you said, that's fun. But like what it is right now with paying to play, it's kind of taken the fun and the excitement out of college football. And that leads me into my next question for you. Would you trade the time when you played in the 90s where, again, it was more of just like a raw atmosphere and you played for the experience and for the excitement and for the opportunity to go pro, or for now, would you trade the two, or would you stick where when you played?
Oh no, I would to be able to play 14 years professional football in the NFL was a dream come true. But I would do anything to be able to go back and play my years in Florida and the SEC. There's nothing like that college experience, the atmosphere, and all that's being ruined right now. There's no loyalty. There's no, these kids coming in as freshmen and leaving 5 years later altogether. It really bothers me. There's nothing that you can do about it because that's the way of the world today. But I just have a hard time when some of these so-called, I still say so-called because until we really know if the Rashada kid's getting this amount of money or the other kid that's going next year to Tennessee, those kids are going to supposedly be making more than like 18 of the starters in the National Football League. I mean, think about that. You know,
Yeah.
you earn the right to go play against the greatest players in the world, which is the National Football League. But you have done something to get that opportunity. These high school kids have done nothing, and that's the problem, in my opinion. And like I said, I have a lot of really good friends that coach college football at multiple levels, and they absolutely they have to publicly say that they're all for it, but they're not. I mean, I don't really know anybody that's for it. I don't have any friends that are former players that are for it. Like for what's going on. Like I said, name, image, and likeness, that's a totally different thing. And that's what I think the Gator Collective has done a great job with it. But some of these other schools are out of control.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, there is something to be said for what I think Texas A&M has done. Look, Texas A&M, Texas, Alabama, those are traditionally rich schools with alumni that go back generation after generation after generation. And when it comes to the point where now they have the option to use the NIL, it's they're not using it the way it was designed for. Now, is that surprising? I don't think that's surprising at all. For high school coaches, it has to be quite possibly the worst thing to manage ever, because now you've got just, you know, all these people knocking down the doors, and kids who, you know, some depending on where you're coaching, haven't ever even fathomed the amount of money that are being thrown at these kids. And now they're having to realize that and make adult decisions on where they're going to go before they've even thrown a football, before they've even blocked a pass, before they've even made an NCAA tackle, or had to, you know, even defend a pass. It's a very, very unique and odd atmosphere. And I can't imagine anybody at the high school coaching level that feels like this is a positive thing.
No, like I said, I don't know a coach at any level of football or any sport that is for this. I've always been in favor of players making some type of money or going to a restaurant and getting free food, things like that. But as you mentioned, what Texas A&M did with their recruiting class, what Miami's doing now, what Tennessee, you know, to me, you don't hear anything coming out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You don't hear anything coming out of Georgia or Ohio State or anything about what kind of money is being thrown at their players. We know their players are getting paid, but they have it under control. I look at it as Miami, who's been irrelevant for a long time, Tennessee, the same. They're just throwing, they're just trying to get into the Twitter world or get their name out there that they're throwing all this money around. And like you said, it may happen. And if those kids get it, great. But I'm telling you right now, I had somebody on my show a couple weeks ago because I don't like to do, I call it homework assignment. I had them take the Elite 11 quarterbacks for the last 20 years, I think it was, or the 15 years. And I wanted them to find out how many of those kids actually started in a college football game. And it was something like 18% of them
Yeah,
So
started a
yeah.
that
college
that
football.
sounds right. That
So you're
sounds right. It's
And
almost like the
that's what
promise that they make to kids going to the NFL. Like, you know, you can come to our university and we'll get you to the NFL. But, you know, look, you're talking about 90 plus man rosters in college, and you're talking about what, you know, half that in the NFL. Like the probability of getting from college to the NFL is very low. It seems that it's almost that they're taking the same concept for high school players and promising all this money and making it almost that weird same transition of the numbers just don't make sense. And like you said, Shane, what happens if the kid isn't good? If he's
Yeah.
not good and he doesn't translate well to college, what happens after his freshman sophomore year if he hasn't performed to the level of the dollars that these
They're being
these folks
promised.
have? Yeah, and now what happens in his junior year? Does he still get the
Well,
money? Is he still getting that, or is that all of a sudden gone because he didn't meet a certain expectation?
think about this scenario. If you guys had your own little collective and coach at whatever university said, hey, that quarterback or that running back at y'all's local high school, we really want him. So your collective puts together whatever deal to get him to go to that school, and then he never plays it down. Your little collective is going to say, hey, coach, you wanted this guy. We just forked over this amount of money. Our guy needs to play or else. I mean, think about it. I mean, it's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
So that's
Yeah,
so that kind of
leverage,
sparks a point.
the leverage on the rosters is that's something I hadn't
Yeah,
thought about.
that
That's a
yeah,
very,
that
very,
kind of
very good
sparks
point.
like a little mafia style type of football, right? Like what you just
Well,
said, Shane.
think about the Auburn Tigers for the last, people say their boosters have been running the administration there. You saw what happened with Brian Harsin this past year. I mean, think about it. I mean, it could happen at some school, but I mean, because these guys are going to be like, look, you wanted us to go out and do whatever we could from a NIL standpoint, because the schools can't pay the money; it has to come from elsewhere. You wanted this guy. He's sitting on the bench, and we just forked over this amount of money. We're not going to go give money for another player. I mean, it's all about the return on the investment. And I don't know. They don't, you hear what Lane Kiffin says. I agree with everything Lane said when he was at SEC Media Days.
So to me, it could be where the coach is now going to be just a puppet in a sense, right? Because the guys that are paying the money, they're the ones that are making the calls from the sidelines, whether it's the right move or not. It's like, look, I invested in this guy to do well. I need my return.
You're right. The dude in Miami that's paying all the money, he may be telling Mario Cristobal what plays to call.
Right.
That's
right.
a really good point. I mean, we've talked about it time and time again, and we have not.
That
was the last. Yeah, that was solid. Maybe we're missing the beat here, but it's a nice fresh take, Shane. I think we've argued about it early on, but now we're kind of starting to, it's just Steve and I kind of arguing with one another. We've learned to appreciate it, but it's nice to kind of get a different perspective on it. Of look, here's the negatives that are going to come from it, and those are some solid points. Appreciate that.
Here's another negative. Okay, so let's say, for example, let's just use Florida because I'm a Florida guy. Let's say, I mean, I don't want to use players' names, but let's say receiver X isn't getting a deal. Receiver Y goes out and catches 4 touchdowns against the Georgia Bulldogs. Okay, well, let's say the guy that didn't catch the 4 touchdowns, he's supposed to be the premier receiver, the number one guy. Well, this company comes and throws money at that kid just cause 4 touchdowns. You don't think there's going to be turmoil in there? Or look at the running backs. If a running back's not getting enough carries to actually score touchdowns and have a bunch of yards, I just think it's going to cause issues in the locker room eventually if they don't get it under control.
It could translation into the prima donna sense that we have in the NFL now.
Yes. Well, you have it in the NFL, but I argue with people that they do. But you're talking about the NFL again. You're in the National Football League because you're one of the best players in the world.
It's expected.
Okay? And when you go to that league, you pretty much know what you're going to make depending on whether you're a free agent out of college or if you were drafted in the first round, second round, third round. And then once you're in the league for X amount of years, all the salaries are slotted. Okay. What people don't realize, there's 53 guys on a roster. About 46, 45 of those guys are making minimum salary. There's about 8 to 10 of them that are making tons of money. Okay. So they can get rid of you at any time. So long story short, you have prima donnas in the National Football League, but you don't have issues. At least in my 14 years, there was never issues in a locker room about the left tackle not getting as much money as the quarterback. You know what you're going to make when you play in that league.
You know your role. Sure.
But not with the NIL. Now the NIL changes that where, you could have a Ferrari dealership that, gets a left tackle into the school based on the NIL. And now that guy wants to know why.
Yeah, like the Peyton Kirklands of the world. I mean, these guys, they're all going to have a say. There's no, there's no, hey, you're an offensive lineman, you're a quarterback. The position changes a little bit because now it's the stars that they're investing in.
But the other thing, and the difference is, at least you've seen the people that are in the National Football League have done something at a high level at the collegiate game to have an opportunity to make money as a professional. These kids coming out of high school, you don't know if they can play dead in a Western playing college football.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I mean, if you go back and you research there have been a lot of busts. That happens. But again, in the NFL, if you don't perform, what do? They cut you.
Gotcha.
What are you going to do if this player from California has been so-called paid all this money and he ain't playing? I mean, Billy Napier
Yeah.
cut some dudes off the roster this year, which you really don't ever see in college football, but I could see that starting to happen.
You almost have to. I mean, you almost have to keep a professional salary cap at some point, because if you're gonna allocate money towards kids that aren't going to be, they're not going to break second string. Are these people still going to continue to pay? And that's not likely. That's a great take, Shane. I mean, like Shelton said, we've gone back and forth about this, but that's the first time that I think that he and I have brought, or you have brought that topic to the forefront. That. Yeah.
Shane, we have a question from the chat here. What's your favorite Spurrier moment that you can give us?
Favorite Spurrier moment, man. There's so many of them. Gosh, I mean, I guess my favorite would be one of my favorites. Our his first game against Oklahoma State in 1990, and we hadn't really talked about until before the game in the locker room what play we were going to run the first play of the season, and we had some ideas, but I'd never started a game, and he just asked. He came in the locker room, what do you want to start with? And I was like, well, maybe a draw or something, screen. He's like, shoot.
A nice screen or draw. That's great.
They didn't need to come down here and run the football. We're going to throw it down the field. And we hit Ernie Mills for about 35 yards on the first play on a deep crossing route. But, I mean, there's so many great Spurrier stories. I mean, he's a different dude, man. And he cracks me up because he actually left me a voicemail this morning. And
on his flip phone?
To it on his flip phone. And he was at his restaurant. He goes to his restaurant a couple nights a week, and he gives like a trivia question. I guess gives them a gift card for something. I don't know, $10 or whatever. And he said the trivia question the other night was, what year was or whatever team was the first in the history of Florida football to win all their SEC games? Do y'all know the answer to that? The first team in Florida football history to go undefeated in the SEC.
I'm going to say the 91 team.
Well, you would have won the damn gift card. He said there was about 55 He said there was about 55 people that guessed, and it went on for like 15 minutes, and then finally some dude said 91, and he was like, "You're correct."
I mean, I think I had a little bit of insight because you're telling me. So he called you. So I was like, all right, well, it has to be the time that you played. And it was probably with him. So I got it narrowed down to a few years.
You're right.
I'd have gone 96. Cool. I'd have gone 96. There was a national championship in 96 there for you guys, right?
But he said first.
The first to ever do
it. The first. Okay, yeah.
Then he left me a message, a couple, his other trivia question. I mean, he leaves these voicemails. He asked them, who is the only starting quarterback in the history of the Florida Gators to never lose a home game?
Can I guess?
Go.
Shane Matthews.
That's right. I didn't even know that either until he left the trivia question on my cell phone.
Does he give you the answer when he leaves a voicemail, or do you have to call him back to get the answer?
No, he leaves. He's like, people don't know that, but you're the only guy. You went 18-0. He goes, Tebow lost, I lost, Danny lost, Rex lost, everybody lost, but you're the only one that never lost a home game. I was like, really? I had no idea, Coach.
That's pretty cool. I mean, he kind of keeps up with that too as well. So speaking of,
my gosh, he's got more stats than you can think of.
We spoke with C. Bryan the other day at the Collective, and he kind of gave us some insight on Spurrier a little bit too. But I want to ask you, what is something that we don't see as the fans that, I mean, you kind of gave us a little insight, but something that we don't see from Coach Spur that you learned from him that he was able to teach you behind the lights?
Oh, I mean, he's just he's a player's coach. I mean, I don't think you'll find many players that didn't enjoy playing for him. I mean, he's a straight shooter, real laid back, but so competitive. And I mean, I would have never played as long as I did in the NFL if it wasn't for him. I mean, just the X's and O's. I was lucky that it kind of came natural to me, but he's just he, somebody, and it's probably too late now. Should have. I always wanted somebody to do a documentary on his coaching style, like in the meetings, at practice, all those little things, because there's not one coach in the world that ever did it like he did. And people would be shocked and they would be like, how in the world did this guy ever win a bunch of games the way he did things? It was fascinating.
What are some things that we would catch or we would notice that would be fascinating that would make us believe he wouldn't win a lot of games?
Well, the way we met, it wasn't very long. We did not have a playbook. He would take 3 or 4 sheets of white typing paper, his own handwriting. He would draw squares that, not with a ruler where it was nice and neat, just squares. And he would write the plays in, staple it together, and tell the quarterbacks, here's the game plan, put it in your back pocket in case you need something to study.
So,
I mean,
what, why? So you were there. Why do you think this style was successful? Did it put the pressure on you guys to be more involved? Do you think like that? That's crazy.
no, it's just that's how he is. Most people have this nice, 3-ring binder, real thick playbook, and all this stuff. And nowadays it's all on iPads and everything. But no, he would handwrite everything, staple it together, fold it up, and he'd put it in his back pocket too. So he would just tell everybody to put it in your back pocket in case you ever need to study your plays.
That tells me I have a chance.
In your back pocket. My
yeah,
gosh.
It just seems
you
so
slip
simple.
and fall down. You have the entire playbook. This is amazing.
Yeah. I love, and so that's too cool. That's a really cool insight on there. We got a question from the chat as well from North Florida White Trash. We got some fun names here, Steve or Shane, just so you're prepared. He wants to know if you expect Anthony Richardson to play well enough to leave. If he plays well enough, do you think he will leave after this season?
I don't. If he plays outstanding, I don't think he needs to leave. He hadn't played enough football. I coached against Anthony in high school. Look, Billy's going to do a really good job with Anthony. We all know is talented, but they're going to keep it simple like they did in the spring game. There's going to be a lot of RPOs, zone read, and throw the ball deep. They're not going to ask him to drop back and read a bunch of coverages. He's not great at that, and use his athletic ability. People talk about we don't need to run him a lot because he's been hurt. I disagree with that. That's what he does best, is run the football. What Anthony needs to do is he needs to learn from Lamar Jackson. I know the fans get excited when he hurdles players and all that kind of stuff. I need you to get the first down, get out of bounds, slide, protect yourself. That's what's going to make him a good player. I don't need him running through people unless it's the game's on the line and he has to run over a couple guys to score the winning touchdown. But other than that, he needs to use his running ability, but be smart.
Awesome. That was great. Thank you on that, Steve.
So let me ask you this. So Spurrier was famous for tossing that visor, sometimes as far as a quarterback could throw a football, but he would only do it in certain situations on a football game. During practice, how often did that visor come flying off his head? Was it more than the game? Was it less than the game? Was there no visor at all? I got to know.
Game saved visor throw.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
I mean he threw his visor. I mean I think it wasn't all the time because he really would throw it only when he was really upset at something. But yeah, I mean it was great. That's what I can just picture in my head now clips of him during a game on the sideline. And sometimes he would like fake throw it too, he's a character, but yeah, he would throw that thing. And sometimes he would kind of tell you how he's going to throw it. If he's really mad, he'll throw it straight vertical. If he ain't real mad, he'll kind of sling it out like a Frisbee.
So he'd describe his types of throws
Afterwards, like if at practice, he's the kind of guy that gets on you. He gets on you, cusses you. He doesn't cuss. I mean, he'll say a few cuss words here and there, but then he'll turn around and then he jokes with everybody about what he just got mad about. And that's just, I mean, it's hard to explain unless you're around the dude all the time.
So I imagine him, he throws it, right? He turns around and everyone's kind of like scared. He goes, guys, I just flung it, okay? That's like a level 5 on the mad scale.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I vented. That's my version of venting, right? Okay, it went like 14 yards downfield. Like I'm good now.
Well, it's no different than when you play golf. When we used to play a lot of golf. I mean, we don't play anymore because of his age and he's got arthritis in his hands and stuff. But every now and then he hit a bad shot and he would throw his club. He explained to you, you got to throw it out because if you throw it straight down, it can come back up and hit you. There's a proper way to throw your club.
I love it. That is too. I know
amazing.
The fans in the chat are gonna love to hear that. That is.
Let me ask you this, Shane. Did he have a visor handler? Was there a guy who was designated on? Yeah. So was there? Because you've got these guys now who are designated to hold back the defensive coordinator or hold back the coach when they get so riled up. You got to keep them off the field. It's all for show. It looks crazy. But back then, was there a visor fetcher? Did he have somebody designated to go get this thing?
I don't know. His director of football operations for his whole coaching career was a guy named Jamie Spironis, who we used to joke around with him. And did you clean coaches' clubs today, Jamie? We would joke around with him all the time. But Coach had a million visors, and if you go to his restaurant, you see a ton of them there. But he used to. The funniest thing, he used to park underneath the stadium in like his Buick Skylark that the Buick place used to give him or whatever it was. All the coaches now drive these Mercedes. Coach had like a Buick, but he would put his visors on the back seat of the window, like lined up. So he'd have like 6 visors on the back window part of the car. And I don't know why he put them back there or if he had certain ones that he wanted, but I do remember that all the time. He'd have those visors lined up on the back.
That's pretty cool. Shane, what's your favorite team, or I should say, your favorite team to play against, and what's your favorite team to watch the Gators play against now, if it's changed or if it's the same?
Oh man, being from Mississippi, I didn't really understand the Florida-Georgia rivalry, and I went undefeated against them, so it's still hard to believe how Georgia's turned it around. But I love playing against Florida State. I love playing against Tennessee. I don't really have a favorite, I guess. I just love college football. It doesn't matter if Rice and TCU are playing on TV. I'll watch it. I prefer watching. Well, my mind may change now. I used to prefer watching college football over NFL, but the way of the world now, I don't know. That may change.
Might be watching the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing. Look, Shane. The one thing I will say for you, buddy, is I couldn't agree with you more. It didn't matter what game was on. A noon game could be Big Ten, Purdue, Indiana. Sure, I'll take it. But it didn't matter what college football game was on. If it was college football, I'd stop. Even some of the Thursday games, before the NFL took over that, right? The Thursday games sometimes would just be, some, Nevada versus some random Southwestern, New Mexico State. But on Thursday night, when I'm flipping channels and I'm like, what do I want to watch? I'd see that game. I'd stop. College football, I think for me, and it sounds like for you, has always been the thing. It doesn't matter who the teams are. I want to watch that game, and it will make me stop what I'm doing to watch that game no matter what.
I agree. The passion, the loyalty, just all that about college football.
Yeah, the fans, the fight songs, everything that goes into it. Yeah,
playing for something a little bit more. Shane, we got one more, and then we'll let you go. I know you got to drive ahead of you, and we appreciate you taking the time again today to do this with us. But what is your thoughts, and do you know if you was talking with Spurrier, what are his thoughts on Coach Billy?
Oh, we both love him. Billy Napier grew up just how I did. He's a high school coach's son. His mom was a teacher at the school. I did the same thing. My dad coached for 30-something years. So he knows how to relate to people. He's genuine, just down to earth, just a good dude. His track record has been great. He's coached at some really good plays. He's got a great plan in place. I just don't think people realize how far behind we have been. The standalone facility is going to help. But we got to get the roster SEC caliber. And I don't think that's going to happen until maybe year 3. But he's a really good football coach, a good person. He's changing the culture, and it's going to take time. I've said if he wins 7 or 8 games this year, he should be the coach of the year in the conference. But I'm excited. I know Coach Spurrier's excited to have him around. Gator fans just need to be realistic. We haven't been very good. I mean, we had a good spurt for Mullen there, but we still don't have great talent. And so we got to get back to playing disciplined football, which you're going to see. You're not going to see a bunch of silly penalties. The effort last year at times was just pathetic, and that won't happen with Billy Napier.
Love that. That's great takes, great stories as well, Shane. We really appreciate it. Do you want to go ahead and shout your podcast out before you go, Shane?
Sure. My show is Monday through Friday, live on Facebook Live, YouTube, all the different podcast platforms from 8 to 9. And if you miss it, you can, like I said, you can go back and watch it. But more the merrier. But we have good guests on. We enjoy doing it. We've been doing it for about 2 years now, and football's cranking up, and should be a good time.
Awesome, man. Well, Shane, we really do appreciate you hopping on here, man. We'll reach out. Maybe we'll have you on later on in the season, kind of get your thoughts on where we're at. But I know you got to drive ahead of you. So
Sounds good, guys. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
Yeah, but y'all take care.
Thank you, man.
Shane, my man. Hey, thank you very much for signing on with us.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Y'all be good.
Yes, sir. All righty. That was cool, man. That was
awesome.
Outside of being in his pocket the whole time, that was a good time. That was really cool. Guys, thanks for stopping by and putting your love in there, putting your chats and hanging out with us. Muddy, what's going on?
Comments.
Dex says, always a pleasant surprise to be around Shane. I have a picture receiving an award. That's pretty cool, man. Scoop. Shane, you're one of the greatest. You helped build Florida. Yes, absolutely. What's going on? George, my man, welcome. How you doing, Bubba? Cody, fishing football. Daniel, Rob.
You're supposed to be working, Cody.
No, easy. Hunter, what's going on, Wolfman? How we doing, Bubba? Mama's in the house. So everyone's asking about the wings. Ricky's wings are green. He's been the member the longest. So as you guys are members longer, we're going to be doing your wings change colors. So you'll see as you guys are hanging out with the crew for a little bit. You guys will start getting some more colorful wings here. We got May Kane. What's going on, man? Kinto Karate. Welcome, TK Gator Nation. What's going on, man? What's going on? Oh, he thinks they bought merch. That's why he thinks about the wings. No, that's not why. I don't change the wings, guys. I don't control the wings. But we got a couple of super chats that I missed. We had one from North Friday Trash. I think we had one from Cody as well. We had another one too that I missed. We're trying not to cut these guys off during the interview, guys. So if I miss your super chats, I do apologize. We appreciate them as always. That's why I put it on the screen. Trevor Davis says the next 3 days going to be good. Yes, they are. Look, guys, I know we are a little upset with the Malik Bryant today, but we'll bounce back. I had an interview with Malik Bryant. We'll kind of go into that really quick. I spoke with Malik. I apparently am worse than Steve with operating technology because I blew it, and
I don't want to hear that. Yeah, no more do I get to hear about me having any technology snafu after this story.
Yeah. So I had an interview with him. It wasn't just a personal one. It was basically a group effort where we all interviewed Malik, and it was a great interview. A lot of the guys that were there were Hurricane fans. Oh, we got another super chat from Literus. 1 second.
Subtle Literus.
From the Canes, and I was cordial with him. His coach was there, super great kid. And I asked him, I said, "Hey man, what was it? Why did you choose Miami over Florida? Right? What was the difference maker? I know Florida made a late run. Why did you choose? Why not Florida?" Is essentially kind of what I asked in so many ways. And he gave me the typical, look, Miami had great coaching. They talked about how Miami compared him to Micah Parsons and how they want to utilize him as Micah Parsons, which I thought was very interesting, right? Which was a really insight into how he was being recruited. And again, I'm not saying Florida's not doing that, but we seem to be missing out on these middle linebackers. And at what point, is it, look, we can't just keep saying it's the bag. I mean, he seemed very grounded, right? In a sense of look, I went here because of these things. It wasn't just like your typical, like, look, the school was good. He's like, look, no, here, they told me how they're going to utilize me. They compared me to this guy right here and what they think that I can be. And that's what I liked. Obviously, sure, the hype, too, with it trending towards a top tier class. I'm sure that helped as well. But there were some great questions in there. He talked about Edgerrin James has been a part of his life since his father passed in 2013. So, I mean, it's been in the work for a very long time. And I think that's what we miss out on. I was like, Billy's new to this. And if we weren't having guys like that kind of recruit actively, that's going to be an issue. You got a guy, Edgerrin James, who's been hanging out with this kid since he was 13. I mean, the guy's dialed in. You know what I mean? So.
Sure. Look, I mean, that's worked out well for Florida and Florida State in the past. Like when you have a family lineage that has been around the school, been around the university, especially been around the athletic association, even played for the team. Like it's easy for that transition to happen. And it doesn't always have to be family, but sometimes there's an extended family. If Edgerrin James is extended family for this kid, the guy's looked up to him forever. And he's not just, a guy who played running back for the University of Miami. The guy was a star for the University of Miami. He was a star in the NFL. And if this kid's looked up to him for a long time, he's extremely influenced and easily influenced. Not saying that he didn't make his own decision, and I'm sure that Malik made his own decision, but to carry on a tradition for somebody that you respect as family or extended family, there's something to that, to be able to say, I want to take what you did and I want to carry it forward into the sport. So
Sure.
Look, I don't take anything away from the kid. He's a great athlete. I wish him nothing but the best, except for against FSU.
Couple L's. Yeah, I told him the same thing. I say, man, look, I'm a Gator fan over here, but good luck, man. I'm proud of your decision and good luck to you. But we got a super chat from Mike Litteris. So let me break this down for you guys. Now that the party has started, Mike's not a fan of the interviews because he can tell the energy isn't there. It's more like, hey, we got to be cordial. He likes when the show gets going. He says, don't forget Steve said go Gators. We won't. Never will.
Never
Thank you.
said that.
Thank you for always reminding us. Steve, please don't interrupt the super chat. Thank you. That's rude. Shelton doubled down on 13. Yes, on a blackjack night, late at one night, I doubled down on 13. Sometimes you got to just send it. Okay? And Shelton didn't know what Friday Night Lights was. That is fair. But I'm going to raise you one, okay? I'm going to double down. Go to Friday Night Lights on Friday, okay? So all of y'all can suck it, okay? Because I'm going to make up. I'm going to make up for the lack of, okay? That's what we're going to do, boys. So buckle up, okay, Buttercup, because it's about to get nasty, all right? Oops, I almost shrunk you there, Steve. Honey, I shrunk the kids. Woo! Yes, good times. I saw something about someone saying in the comments that John Johnson flipped. Is that true? Can I get a confirmation on that? Muddy says we had the defensive lineman coach who coached Micah Parsons for Penn State. Look, maybe we just didn't utilize that. I don't know, but he was very clear on his statement about why he went to Miami, and that was what he said. So. He also talked about which was really cool. I asked him what his favorite recruiting moment was, just in general, like the process of recruiting. Oh, got a new subscriber, Garrett Bula. Thank you, Garrett, for subscribing. A little piggy flying across the screen there. Thank you, man. His favorite experience was basically being able, there you go, Stevie, to bring his friends along with him to kind of show them, like, hey, guys, that's what it can be. If you dial it in and lock it in, this is what it can be, which I thought was really cool and insightful. And I asked him, hey, what is something that we don't know about Malik? When you're not playing football and lifting weights, what are you doing? And he says, like, I love to get back to the community. I go to the local, like the Pop Warner leagues, essentially, around the town in Orlando. And I like to get back and coach and show them the things that I've learned and help them and hopefully give them insight on where they can go and what they can become. So they asked him a little bit about his father passing too, and they said, like, what has that done for you? And he's like, I had to grow up and lock it in very quickly and put my goals in line and, be hungry at a very young age. And you could tell that the way he kind of just carried himself and his mannerisms. He was very locked in, very dialed in. They had a cool moment where they shared about his favorite moment. His coach talked about it actually, where he stripped the ball from this quarterback who they called Lamar Jackson, and he stripped it, picked it up, and took it for a touchdown to win to go to the state championship. So it was a really cool interview. I apologize that I'm a dunce and don't know how to record anything, but Yeah.
We got a comment in here from Ty that Corey Bender put in a crystal ball for Dijon flipping to Florida, and I just looked that up. Corey Bender.
Corey
Bender
Bender.
also, is also looking like he's trending to Florida. It's 2024, so it's a long ways out, but these guys look like they are making some traction the way that the chat is mentioning it.
Okay, good stuff. I heard that a little bit through the grapevine, but obviously everything's kind of he say, she say. So it's good to hear that it's kind of coming out on the forefront. Again, though, the fact that he's flipping already just shows just how quickly I don't think he's 2024. Can you double check that?
Let me look.
Yeah, double check that. We got a super chat from Trevor Davis.
Scared money don't make money.
Man, that just feels good. I feel like I haven't hit that button in about a minute. It's been, you know what, guys?
Scared money don't make money.
It's been too long.
Now it's getting aggressive.
You know what? Trevor says
2024 quarterback. Yeah.
Cornerback. Okay, I think it's a quarter. I was like, he's not a quarterback. Over under a number 10 class. I'm gonna say over, meaning like we're gonna be good. I think we're gonna be a top 10 class. I think we pick.
You think you're inside top 10?
Yeah.
See, I could see like a 13, if not like
it's gonna be close.
Flip.
Yeah,
yeah, it's right on the edge. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a good pick. I think. Look, you're obviously I'm a little biased on it. You're not, so you got a good understanding of it. Looking at the classes, losing Malik was tough. I thought we had Malik. We talked when we talked with Connor. If we were getting Malik plus the people that we kind of hinting towards, the Jakeems, the Aidens, the Colstons. John Walker seems like he might be going to UCF. That one's a weird one. And now Miami's in there, which Miami was not. So I don't know what's going on with him. I thought we were going to Jakeem, John Walker.
No, not again.
Yeah, and LeBlanc, that was the the three-headed monster that I was, hoping for. It's looking like that is just a complete mess at this point. It doesn't seem to be going like UCF is making a late run, which is crazy to me. And if UCF pulls them, what are people going to say then? The bag? Like what? Like I don't. If we're losing to UCF, we might want to be a little frustrated on that. That I could see where people get a little rowdy. So we will see here. We will see. Shake Money, he goes, by the way, I don't have red wings. You should have white or green. I don't know who has red wings. I don't know who has red wings yet. Go Gators. What's going on, Shake Money? Rob says, your name is Shake Money. You do deserve red wings.
Love it.
Daniel Riviera. I love it.
Is he back at it again?
He's back at it again with the white fans. So Muddy's, he's saying the Johnson story is kind of true, hasn't flipped yet, but this is kind of where we're at now. So Daniel, stop following Uncle Lou, goofy asshole man. That guy's wild, bro. Uncle Lou's stuff.
He's crazy.
Is a good time.
He's crazy.
They're going arguing at it. Cody Phillips, what's going on? Welcome to the stream, Bubba. George, admit you guys are just wilding out. I can't even keep up. John Walker's mom works at UCF apparently, according to Ty.
Ooh. See, that might be something.
UCF promising a starting position. So this is something that we talked about with Connor off the cast. I'm not going to get too much into it, but something he talked about, which was interesting. We were talking about players and why certain players, may flip or go somewhere else that we're kind of confused on. And he talked about the decommitting process, right? Where these guys are fed that they are just basically God for however long. Basically until that dotted line is signed, they are just pumped of like, you are the man, right? Like, you're everything. We want you. And that's why it takes a team. I mean, look how many people they've got to basically make them feel like they are like the shiz, right? So these kids walk on campus thinking they are the shiz. Well, guess what? The year before you, they were talking to the exact same style of kids with the exact same amount of stars who came in already.
The exact same thing.
Saying the exact same thing, but have already sat out for a year and now are ready to play. You, my friend, who just walked off the 50-yard line of a high school football field, are not ready to play.
You were in prom 4 years ago. Or 4 months ago.
4 days ago. Okay,
4 months ago you were at prom, and now you want to walk in here.
You just got your driver's license and learn how to shave. Sit down, shut up, and get in the back. And so, it's a shock. Now, I'm assuming most kids are probably prepared for that, but You got to realize they're being sold a dream. That's why these transfers happen too, because it's like, I want to go here, but this guy's telling me I'm going to play today, and that's where I want to go. Who's the quarterback from Ole Miss? Who just went pro? What's his name? Corral. He just came out and said, he goes, I wish I would have went somewhere else with harder competition. And he says, I didn't believe in myself. Look, this is exactly what I'm saying. He knew that he could start at Ole Miss. He's like, I wish I went to somewhere like Bama, because he probably got an offer from all those places. And maybe Nick was very clear, or he knew. He's like, I'm probably not going to start right away. I have to earn my spot. And he basically said, he goes, I didn't believe in my ability to get it done, so I didn't go where I wanted to, and I wish I would have went somewhere else to play better competition. Now, he spoke with Lane afterwards and apologized, like that's not what he meant. And I'm sure I understood, and even Lane was like, look, I'm not worried about it. People are going to forget about it in 48 hours, and they are. But the fact is like that kid made a decision at an emotional time, at an emotional age, that he thought was best for him because of what he was being told. And he was right. He went and got and played, but did you really get the experience and the growth that you could have if you would have went elsewhere? And so when you're 18 and or not even actually, you're 18, 18 and just, wet behind the ears and pumped and excited, you're going to go whatever you're being told, because it doesn't have to be reality. And again, this is where the money thing comes into play too. But so it's going to be interesting to see. Go ahead.
Matt Corral was guaranteed a starting job from the day he walked in. And look, no player at any point in time ever gets better when you know that you're a 5-star quarterback and you're automatically guaranteed a starting job. You never look over your shoulder. You never have to try to get better. You just maintain. That's a maintenance job at that point. You just can't get worse. And I'm not saying that Matt Corral didn't win some games. He beat Alabama. He had Treadwell, if I'm not mistaken, that caught a couple of major passes against Alabama, and they shook the world a few times. But for development, did that really help him? Probably not. And I think that's what he's saying. It's not that he didn't feel that he didn't get better. It's that he didn't feel like he was pushed to get better. He did it on his own because he was guaranteed that role from the day he stepped on campus. That's tough for an 18-year-old kid. If you know there's nobody behind you that might come under you. Do you miss a practice? Are you 15 minutes late for a practice? Do you slough off on a practice? In film
there's no
study,
fire.
when it's
there's
dark,
no pressure.
Yeah.
There's no pressure.
When it's
pressure
dark
makes
in a film
diamonds.
study, are you kind of dozing off? Yes, exactly. And so I think that's what he's saying. He's right. I mean, you can look at that in any professional environment. If there's no pressure around you to get better, you're just going to be lackadaisical and just go through the motions. So I don't disagree with what he's saying, and I don't think that Ole Miss nor Lane Kiffin should take it as a slight. I think what he's saying is just rational.
Sure, Lane didn't take it wrong in the wrong way. He even came out as like this.
Well, he typically wouldn't because he's too busy with other things.
He was chill. But yeah, look, and that's where we have to keep in mind, guys. So when these guys go somewhere else, it's like, look, and part of it too is somebody kind of mentioned a academic qualification. That's always a factor too. There's so many things that go into play, and sometimes too. I mean, look, we were upset about the Peyton Kirkland thing, but as Connor you mentioned, Florida really wasn't pushing that heavy for him. And part of it is due to that decommitting process of like, look, they didn't want to have to go through that process because it can be kind of tough with certain players. And it's like, look, this not anyone in particular, but this particular person has an ego. I don't want to have to deal with that, right? It's not worth the talent. Sometimes it is. Sometimes sometimes it's not. Real quick, though, let's get into some recruiting news. So, obviously, Friday Night Lights is this weekend. So, big names that are going to be there. James Smith and Kawau Russell. I don't know how to say that. Both 5-star edges. Yeah, both 5-star edges are going to be there for the Saturday Night Lights from IMG, I believe, as well as Pimba, which we've talked about, Samuel Pimba, all 5 stars. That's going to be great stuff. Like I said, we're going to be there. Hopefully, we can capture some cool footage of these kids and kind of see what's going on. Again, the 3 that we know that are going to recruit, the reason that it's all strategically planned to happen on this Friday. So I was doing some research on Friday Night Lights, guys, okay? And it seems that we typically pull off a good recruit through Friday Night Lights every year. Okay, guys?
Too good.
I'm going to speak slow, okay, just to make sure everybody knows that I didn't know. All right, I got it. We heard you, okay? No, I appreciate the shit talk. Keeps me on my feet. Look, if I got to become a pressure become a diamond, so I respect it. So the whole point of it, look, if we can get these three guys, the energy's hot. Najee Harris is going to be there, who just became ranked the #1 offensive lineman for next year through ESPN. He's going to be there as well. A lot of energy is going to be happening in Florida. Two top tier quarterbacks for the 2024 class. One of those names being Davey Belfort, and I can't think of the other one at the top of my head right now. They are going to that camp as well. So the camp is going to be hot, full of some star-studded talents. Now, obviously, other schools do this as well, but the strategy here is let's get a bunch of people to commit so the excitement's there, the heat, the hotness, the heat's there, right? And hopefully kind of get these guys pushed into a corner and, play into the recruiting process. So the recruiting news is kind of quiet. It seems awfully quiet, which is really weird. It's something that I haven't noticed in a long time. This entire time we've been doing this for this last 4 or 5 months, I feel like every week I get a new name, right? We get new information, we get new data. But this week, it's only been 2024 data. There hasn't been any articles about anybody coming this week. There's been crystal ball predictions on guys we already know, right? But it's a weird kind of just eerie silence of just wait. And that's what I'm doing, guys. We're just sitting here waiting. So we don't know. I don't know too much. I think once it comes out with the verbal, that's that ghost recruiting that we talked about as well with Hirsch and you in the Bowden situation. It's going to be exciting to see how it plays out. Hopefully it doesn't it's not anticlimactic, right? The tense is building up. The anticipation is there. Hopefully it just sticks.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights has always been, just like I said last week with Hirsch, it's just always been kind of a thorn in the spine for FSU. Like, we know it happens. It's a big camp. They put it on for years, and the turnout for it is huge. Not only for the 2023 recruits, but 2024. It's just they do a very good job with it. They always have. I know Mullen kind of got flat with it for a while, but I think he got flat with recruiting in just about every aspect. But I don't think that'll be the case under Billy. So this will be a big weekend for Florida. I expect, with the fact that they're bringing in their current commits, that there's a purpose behind that. They want those guys to be ambassadors for the 2023 class, not only for the recruits that haven't committed coming up, but also to help solidify the 2024s that have made the commitment or are close to show them that we'll be here next year for you. So Friday Night Lights, big thing for Florida, and you're going to be down there. I look forward to seeing all the magic that you can perform. You do some good stuff when I'm not around.
We'll see what we can do. Mike says you think these dudes wear pants. I'm not wearing pants. Literus, you know better. Mo Jackson says y'all don't know football. Appreciate it, Mo. Thank you for the support.
Thank you.
Jeffrey Daughtry surprise flip this weekend. Let's see. Hunter says, and the ball coach socks. You guys talking about the merch, the ball? Are those socks on the merch or something else? Because there's some pretty sweet socks on the show of
those
Steve
are pretty
Spurrier,
sweet. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's see.
Rob Scar. He's asking if I'm taking my drinks. Rob, you
USB Gator Twin says Holly owes shots. Holly, I'm just saying. I'm
not doing shots.
Just saying, dial it in there, buddy.
Rob,
Jeffrey Daughtry said, "Don't ever mention ESPN recruiting." I told you, Steve. I told you when the whole. So we're gonna get into Arch here. Take your shot, Steve. We're gonna get into Arch here because he dropped, obviously, and it was ESPN. And I said that to Steve. I'm like, it's ESPN. And yes, ESPN's credible, and not really anymore. But the recruiting, it's. I have a take. Just give me a second, guys. I don't want to get into it just yet. I want to let Steve go first. You see, Steve, they're already getting ahead of you. They're already mad at you.
Look, it's fine. Look, at the end of the day,
Holly O shots. They're they're going all on.
I'm not taking shots. Dude, I have a beer. I brought this for you guys. I didn't even want to drink tonight. Anyway, so look, ESPN does not have the most credible recruiting news. I get that. We all get that. However, ESPN does have the biggest sports following in sports. So even if you don't follow recruiting the way that we do, if you don't follow college football the way that we do, if you don't follow even football the way that we all here do, if ESPN puts it out there that Arch Manning is no longer the number one overall recruit, that has traction for people who don't pay attention in other scenarios. And what's weird is that why would ESPN even have an opinion if they don't pay attention? And they haven't for a long time. So I guess what I'm saying here is I get it that ESPN isn't a credible recruiting source, not to the level that we all follow and look at and listen to, but they are a massive conglomerate and they are in front of more eyes than what we watch because we're not so hyper focused. They're not so hyper focused. It's just it's an odd thing for ESPN to come out and say, this kid who has been the number one recruit since he was a sophomore in high school is all of a sudden not. Why?
I think it's clickbait. I think
so too.
I think they realize they're irrelevant to the situation. And it's like, look, how can we make a splash? How can we get? Nobody talks about ESPN recruiting. Like this entire, like nobody searches it, and they probably see that. Like, look, our searches are down. Guess what? Here's how we get it up. I mean, look, this entire On Three, we kind of gave shit for On Three doing it. It's the same thing. I mean, these guys want clicks, and everybody wants clicks. All right, let's just get
like and subscribe.
Yeah, hey, we're like 90 away from 2,000 subs. I mean, smash the button. My goodness, let's show some love for the boys. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Anyways,
hit the other one.
It's
Scared money don't make money. You know?
It's the only one that I have. I think it's more of just a clickbait situation where they're just trying to, again, be relevant again. We've talked about why he should be a one or shouldn't be a one anyways, but it just seems odd that it would come out now. The Malachi, the guy from Nelson Malachi from USC is now number one. So, I look, 1, 2, 3. I mean, we could honestly flip a coin. It's obviously exciting to be number one. I mean, it's the hype's there, but the name carries itself, so it really doesn't matter to me. It's just ESPN trying to be relevant and be exciting. Because guess what? That article spread like wildfire when it came out. There doesn't have to be any rhyme or reason to it either. There doesn't. They're just like, yeah, he's number. We made a reevaluation, and he's number 2 now. That's what we feel.
Well, let me ask you this: is it potentially some
Malachi
of the
Nelson
interview?
Nelson Malachi.
Some of the interviews that we've had with even Connor, and maybe it's happening on a larger scale, where people are coming out and they're like, this kid is not a 5-star talent. He's a 5-star name. So maybe that's gaining some traction. I think his senior year is going to be very interesting with the amount of attention he's going to get, especially with what ESPN just did versus the expectations versus some people who are saying he's not even there. He's not a 5-star. He's a 3-star. And if he plays like a 4-star, we're impressed. I think his senior year of high school is going to be one of the most watched that I would say since we've had Tebow, Jameis. I mean, those guys, when they were coming through their senior year, like you wanted to see if they could actually sustain how good they were in their rankings going in.
Johnny says ESPN is like an old man trying to try new ways to get it up. Real quick, Steve, you're getting absolutely just slammed here. I don't want them to feel like we're leaving them out. Rob Scar is pretty upset. I've
done 2 drinks for him already.
He's not taking that. He wants a shot. He wants an actual genuine shot. Steve, text the wife. Now that no, Steve, it's for the people, Steve. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. They're already telling you to take an aspirin that you look shot out. So might as well just feed the people and just give him some love. He's upset. Like, he's really fired up. Literist, Mike, your shirt should be coming, Bubba. It's for Phil. We're working on getting it sent to you. So his Beat Utah shirt, it should be on the way, man. Look, we're doing the best we can. We're just 2 people. Look, Steve can't even get a shot in. So quit yelling at us. All right? Let's see here. How many surprise commits are going to happen at Friday Night Lights? I don't have a number. Like I said, I think that It could be. Feels like it could be big. Like I said, it's that calm before the storm type of feeling. It feels like it could be pretty big. Devil Dog says probably get another 100 subscribers if Holly says go Gators again. I mean, it's for Steve.
I've never said it
it's
the first
for
time.
the people, Steve. You know what I mean?
I will never in a million years ever say that. I never said it the first time. Somebody put a super chat in under my name. I appreciate you. You guys knock yourself out. You can contribute to the channel all day, every day under my name. You can say whatever you want. Keep doing it. And never in a million years did I ever say go Gators.
Mike literally says Holly wishes FSU fans were as cool as us. He leaves the live feed and LARPs with FSU boys. Oh my goodness, I love it. So let's go really quick here.
I think the wife's got it coming.
She's got the shot coming. You do
No.
3 shots for the boys. I'll hit your button. I'll hit your button.
Absolutely no.
I'll hit your
give me
button.
one
Where are we at?
one
Where are we
shot.
at on the subs? Can somebody give me a light? Can somebody give me a sub count on where we're at right now currently? Like, let's see if we can hit 2,000 while we're on the stream, right? Like, go get some people here. I'll take a shot if we hit 2,000 on the stream. I'll get buck wild with the boys. You know what I'm saying? What is that?
That's
I need to see inside of it. That better not just be water. I don't know, Steve. It smells a little fishy. I need to see the bottle.
Oh my gosh, I'm not bringing her back.
It needs to be 3 shots. It has to be 3. Text her.
I have a life outside of this place.
Text her again, Steve. It's for the boys. Steve.
Can I give you the first one? Will
go ahead.
you simmer? Simmer.
A lot of likes are pumping, Steve. Because that's tea. I'm not buying it either, Steve. Not buying it either.
Oh.
I need to see the bottle. Look, if Steve's gonna flake out on you boys, I got one. Can somebody give me a live count on the subscribers so we know how close we are to 2,000? If we're close, I'll go text them. She might be sleeping. I'll go grab the bottle right now and I'll take it out of the bottle. Fish says leave Holly alone. So let's go into your Miami thing while you text her for another shot, Steve, because you owe me 2 more. Nat says not enough. The people are talking, Steve. I don't know what you want me to do at this point. Steve, what's your take on the Miami fade, the football?
You mean right now with the
recruiting?
success?
Your take on it. Yep. What are we going from here? What did you got?
So here's the thing. Cristobal's always been a great recruiter. Don't take that away from him. He's been a little suspect when it comes to on the field. My concern for Miami is that they have, as long as they've been even in the ACC, they have been the All Canes Conference. They haven't won one yet. So they're craving a high level of success. And now all of a sudden you have a coach who is back in Miami, who played for Miami, who's coached for Miami before, who is just absolutely slaughtering it in recruiting. And for Miami fans, they're just dying for that taste of winning again, and, to take them back to where they were before. But some of this recruiting success, that doesn't translate to the field. That's not going to be something that even happens for them until spring or summer of next year. So I guess my concern for Miami is you guys already have a good shot. You guys already have a great shot of winning the side of the division. But none of these guys play for you yet. Don't let some of the recruiting success make you believe that that's on the field success. And it's going to be a weird dynamic to see if now that they've got so much confidence off the field, are they going to be patient on the field going into the season? It's going to be a weird dynamic for Miami.
So I've hopped in a lot of Miami spaces on Twitter. They're very exciting and very hyper right now. I would imagine they're probably how Texas A&M was last year. And I mean, they're talking some shiz, as they should be. I mean, it's part of it. It's exciting. But it's like they're correlating that the success off the field and the recruiting this year is going to correlate to on the field immediately this year. I don't see that happening. And look, if you're Miami, I would say, look, be patient. Don't get upset if the season falls flat on its face. And Shane said, he goes, what happens when they start off 1-3, right? And then cats start leaving. So they need them to do successful this year. It's going to be interesting to see because this isn't his team, right? Crystal Ball's team this year. They were good. To me, I felt like Miami should have been way better last year. You lost to FSU. Like, they keep forgetting that they lost to FSU. I don't understand how they forget that. But it's going to be interesting to see. I think the fade part of, like, look, I wouldn't put it. We had them finish like 9-3. I did like a little thing with the Miami space. They had them kind of going the same. The Miami fans are pretty honest. They had Texas A&M, they lose to, I think, Clemson, and then I think they had like a Virginia. They had like how we had it, right? Like that one-off game where it's like it's going to sneak up on us. But look, FSU could pull a stunner on them. To me, it could go either way. They could go 6-6. They can go 9-3, in my opinion.
Yeah,
so,
they have Texas A&M at Texas A&M, which that's going to be a toughie. Va-Tech has always been a huge rivalry for them, so there's no telling what that does. I don't think Va-Tech is quite the level of Miami. Miami's got a good team. The one thing I will say is their running back stable is solid. Their quarterback is solid. They got a good team. I just hope that for Cristobal's sake that the fans don't take the instant success on the recruiting path as instant success on the field.
real quick, we got a couple things here. So Jeff Daughtry, $20 super chat, my man. TK says, sorry, but recruiting literally translates to on-the-field success. Takes more than one class, but not because those players will pan out, but yeah, it corresponds. Sorry, Holly. So he thinks it's going to translate. Immediately, TK, like that year. Devil Dog says, new drinking game, have to do a shot every time Miami is said.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're big on Van Dyke. They're very big on Van Dyke as well. Yeah, I don't, TK, man, I disagree with that. It doesn't immediately. Does it eventually? Yes. I just don't see it like 2023 is not going to impact like this year. There's no, like all this hype, Malik Bryant, all these guys, it's not, to me, I don't feel like it's going to have any impact at all. It could be a complete wash of a season. Like same thing with Texas A&M. Like everyone's kind of excited for him. It's like, look, this could have, that was last year's class. So those guys are playing now. Well, some of them are. So look, I would expect Texas A&M to have some hype because they finished 2022 class at number 1, which those guys are now eligible to play. So those guys could be, Doherty. Oh, my bad, Jeff. It's Doherty. Jeff Doherty. Appreciate you sounding that out for me, bud. I appreciate it.
Oh, our fault.
Oh, okay. So not in one class, but 3 top 10 classes. Yeah, 100%, TK, 100%. Yeah, then the wheels turning. But Miami hasn't had that. They haven't had anything. They've been irrelevant. And now they've had one good season. The same thing with Texas A&M, and everyone's going to expect it to be like just boom right away. It's not going to happen. Texas A&M needs to have another top 10 recruiting class this year, or basically this year was a complete waste of time. Or last year, excuse me, in my opinion.
Yeah, Miami had the 13th ranked class in 2020, and let's see here,
2021 and 2022,
12 and 21. So they went from 13 to 12 to what they're doing right now.
Look, and that's where probably the hype is coming. Like again, they were expected to be good last year.
That I could get. Yep.
They were expected to be good last year. They kind of flat out. So this year they should be good then. That's why look, everyone has them high. We'll see. A new subscriber, Mr. Rooney. Let's go, baby.
Scared money don't make money.
Jeff Doctor, showing some love. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Give it to him, Stevie. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing a giveaway to our members. All the ones that have little piggies next to their name. No, keep subscribing, guys. Keep smashing the sub button. We're going to be doing a giveaway
I'm kidding.
for a customized college jersey. Pretty jazzed up about this one here for our members. So what we're going to do is they're going to change the duckies up a little bit. We're going to do, whatchamacallit. Let me pull it up here. We're going to do roulette. That's what we're going to do. We are going to do a roulette style, which is perfect because we're just under like 36, which is 36 numbers for a roulette table. So I'm going to pull this up here so you guys can see this here. Wrong one. There it is. Okay, so what you guys can see here is your name, and next to your name is a number. Okay, so take a minute, find your name. We got Mr. Nobody, we've got Hunter Wolf, we've got Cooey, we got Rob. You guys can see your name. You can see the number next to your name. Okay, those numbers are your ball number, basically. Okay, that's going to be what your whatever the ball is. That's what you're going to get. Okay, so dial it in, see what you got here. Okay, before I pull it up, if you found your name, let me know. We've got a $5 super chat from Dominic. What it be? What it be? I'm late. How is everyone doing? I killed my cat to watch the show. Love y'all. Keep it up. I don't know how to take that. That was a whirlwind of emotions. Like,
did you like the cat?
Yeah. Like what? How do we go? I don't know. What?
Were you? Huh. Oh.
Yeah, that was. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I paused reading that. I didn't know what happened there. So we have just about everyone that has a number. I think there's only a few numbers that aren't touched. So Cody says, I looked at Fanatics today. The Florida jersey with custom name on the back is sold out. If not available, pick whatever jersey you want on Fanatics and send the info to me. Okay? For $20, Holly better say FSU couldn't even beat FAU. I mean, it's for he's not wrong. He's not wrong, Steve.
That's where Willie Taggart coaches. Trust me, we could beat Willie Taggart.
Mike says, I'm watching on my phone. I can't see any of that. All right, let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Let me tell you what number you are, Mike. Mike, you're 28. Your number is 28, Mike. Okay? If anyone has a question what number they are, let me know. I can tell you really quickly here. I'll give it a second. Cody, I did see your last chat. Yes, I'm going to read that again, guys. For the jersey, Florida jerseys with the custom name on the back is sold out. So if that's not available, pick whatever Florida jersey or any jersey that you want from the Fanatic site and send me your information so I can get that over to you guys. Let me see here. I can't see mine. Scoop. Do you see Scoop? Scoop, you're 24, boss.
24. Yeah, 24, buddy.
Cody is 32. Lombardi is 31. Dominic is 30. Tristan Creel is 34. Mr. Nobody, you are 3, my friend. You are three, Mr. Nobody. Rob Scar, you're 7. Devil Dog, you're 8. TK Gator Nation, you're 11. Wonder if he left. I think he got mad at us. I'm trying to see people who are in here who I've seen. Dominic, you are my friend. I can't even see it either on the screen.
Can we put it on the Discord?
Dominic, you are 30. You are 30, sir. You are 30. All right. I think we got it. Everyone got their numbers down, so we can go ahead and roll this ball here. Boys, turn the phone sideways. Let them know, TK. Let them know, baby.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sometimes you got it.
Flip that boy to the side.
Oh, gosh dang it, Daniel. He said, and the Gators lost to Mizzou. You son of a bitch. Let's go. All right. Everyone got their number? Mike says, bro, I got Pornhub up too. I can't. All right, let's go ahead and let's hop into the chat or the roulette table here. All right. I'm going to let you know which spin counts, so don't get excited while the balls are spinning around. I'm going to tell you when we're going to go.
This sounds like what Cody's what Litterus is watching.
Not enough funds. I know I have enough funds. All right, we're in here at a good time. Let's get the music going. Here we go. Who's going to win? Who's it going to be? Oh, my goodness. The ball is about to drop for a custom jersey to our members. Here we go, Steve. Oh, man. I'm starting to get a little bit of an itch to go gamble now, Steve. I'm trying to get fired up. Here we go. Here we go. Ed, I'll let you know what your number is after this. 1 second. Oh, number 9. I thought it was going to be 0, and I was like, of course, nobody has 0. All right. Number 9 is the winner. Let's see who our winner is at number. It feels like Saturday night again. Yes, it does. Number 9, LGM. Let's go Mets. You've got to be kidding me. The Mets fan. Oh my goodness. I'll have to shoot him a message. That is wonderful. Daniel, your number was where are you? Daniel, you are 20. You were 20.
20.
You were 20.
I see you. Yep.
Good stuff. That was good. It was a good time. All right, so LGM, congrats to LGM. I'll trade you numbers. Congrats to LGM on the custom jersey. I'm going to have to message him privately. Look, if you guys remember and haven't shot us a message through the link yet, please go ahead and do that, and so we can contact you guys and hang out with you. If you guys are brand new here tonight and enjoy what you liked and loved it, drop a like, subscribe, become a member. If you want to be part of more giveaways, we'll be doing the next giveaway at 75, 50, 75, 50. I don't know. 50, 75, 50, 50. Yep. We'll give it away at 50. Then at the 50 member mark, we're going to do another giveaway. Yeah. Not quite sure yet what it's going to be. Maybe some merch, maybe something else. Not the winning number, Dominic. Hopefully you guys bought Mega Millions, and hopefully you guys get the W on that. Also, too, guys, just a reminder, the merch store is up. It's in the link in the description for the Beat Utah shirt. Go scoop up yourselves up a little Beat Utah swagger. Get yourself a little hoodie so you guys can stay warm when it gets really cold out here in Florida. Yeah, Ducks got more hype. Ducks definitely got more hype. I wanted to change it up a little bit because if we get bigger past the 36 mark, we can no longer do the roulette. So it's kind of like the last time we could do roulette. Yeah. So we've got a few fans that come watch us when we do our blackjack and gambling addiction streams. So what are you, a damn auctioneer? So that FSU can't beat FAMU. He's asking for it, Steve. Can you just show some love? Andrew Gator fan, what's going on, man? If I win, I want an UGA hat. That's fair, Daniel. I got you, bub. I can get you that. Rob says, my math says 7 is 2 from 9. Consolation prize. Look, here you go, Rob.
Scared money don't make money.
And Steve's going to give you a shot. Mike said, I got an extra small so my nips be popping. Bro, Mike's traps need their own T-shirt, okay?
Oh,
each one.
Oh, my gosh.
Each one.
It's not the size of your shirt, Litterus. It's the size of your neck. I mean, your
Mike, shoulders
go straight to your ears, bro. It's not our fault.
My goodness, I can't wait till we get big and then he just can come. We'll be like, we're really robbing big, Mike. Okay, I'll be Rob. You'll be big. All right, guys, go check out the merch. Go get yourself some Beat Utah stuff. Be back here on Sunday. Look, Friday Night Lights. I will be there. Hopefully, we get some cool stuff. Hopefully, we get some great takes. We're working on getting another interview with the player. If I win, can I cancel Daniel's membership? I love it. Andrew, my man, Link is doing great. Love to hear that, Andrew. Love that, man. Love to hear that Lincoln's doing well, Bubba. Send us a picture, man. I'd love to see how he's doing, man.
We love Daniel. We love Daniel. And damn it, Rob Scar. I don't know who you are, but you're going to scar my liver by the end of this thing.
Michaela Waters, our new subscriber. I think it's Muddy Waters' wife, if I'm not mistaken. Welcome to the family, man. Scoop Shelton's wearing a medium. Yeah, it's because my belly's poking out. It's a love-hate relationship. All right, guys. Be back here on Sunday. We will be live at 4:35, right?
4:35? Yeah, 4:35.
Yeah, I'm a little tired.
Sunday.
Hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight, as always. Shane Matthews was awesome. It was a great story time, as always. Amazing. Like, subscribe, become a member, buy some merch. See you guys next time.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Have fun.
So fight and fight.